Hi, welcome to Mystic Missy's YouTube channel. Today we will be discussing Louisiana serial killers. Well, since you're new to my channel, let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Missy. I'm from Louisiana. As you may have guessed, I love all things creepy and spooky. And this is just I'm giving it a go. Throwing my little head in the ring. That is my little baby King, who's hiding back there. You'll see a lot of him in the video. Just don't mind him. He's a good boy. Okay, so today we'll be discussing 5 serial killers that terrorized Louisiana. If you guys like this series, I'll continue because obviously it's much more. And I won't go into great detail. I'm just going to give you a little rundown. But eventually I'm going to do more videos in specific people or specific serial killers that interest me. I will go more into depth with them. Okay, so number 1, we have Ronald Joseph Dominique. Yes, I will be using flashcards. I'm just starting out. So we have Ronald Joseph Dominique. He comes in at number 1. He's known as the Bayou. He's known as the Bayou Strangler. He was convicted of He was convicted for the murder of 8 men, but he confessed to killing 23. Between the years of 1997 and 2006. I know, right? So, he would target gay bars or men on the side of the road, and he would lure these men in with the promise of drugs and sex with fictitious women, just random women. And it worked. Unfortunately, he killed plenty, unfortunately. But he was arrested December 1st, 2006. And how he was arrested is very interesting. A partially dressed man jumped out of the window that he shared with his sister and told the police that Ronald raped him and attempted to kill him. Y'all, he did this in a house that he lived with his sister in. How disgusting is that? Coming in at number 2, we have Clementine Barnabet. Sorry if I chopped up the name. Barnabet. Sorry. So she was a female, young female. This case is a lot. So I didn't go into grave detail about it because I'm going to do a specific video that focuses solely on her and my real take on the case, because I feel like there's a lot of question marks, and at the end of the day, this was year 1911. So, it was already a weird time for black people. But she's nicknamed the Midnight X. They nicknamed it the Midnight X murders. But to some, it's called the Voodoo murders. It just depends on who you're talking to. She began killing in 1911 through 1912. She is convicted of killing only 1 person, but have claimed to confess to killing 35. But a lot of those murders is in question. How she would do it is that she would locate the family's ex. This is the 1900s. Is a lot of family had exes. And they left it outside their home. So she would locate the ex first and then break into the home and murder the family while they slept. It's very gruesome murders. At the age of 19, she was sentenced to Angola State Prison. She actually tried to escape, but was unsuccessful. It is believed that she did not work alone, as it is believed that she was a part of a cult called the Human Five. And these murders continued even after she was arrested. That's why I said I would be doing a video solely on her, because the case is so strange and bizarre, and it has so much factors into it. It's a lot. To go into grave detail, it just would take the whole video. It's a lot of other people involved, a lot. And she was young. She was 19. So, yeah, it's a lot. But the cult was called the Human Five. And I'm going to go deeper into it as time goes on. So, bear with me. Coming in at number 3. So, we have Robert Hohenberger. I know I chopped up the name. Please don't judge me. So he's not from Louisiana, but he lived in Louisiana, and these are the murders that he is known for. While traveling to Louisiana, he stayed in a small town called Bayou Vista under the identity of a man named Frank Henry. This was not his real name. During his stay, teenagers started coming up missing in Morgan City, a city that he frequently and was very close to the town, and he would go there after work and just chilled in the town a lot. So random teenagers started coming up missing, never to be heard from. The first teenager he did a ransom call, but I'll go to depth about that later. But he was suspected of kidnapping, raping, and murder. Unfortunately, these kids. Eyewitness, the last 2 girls that he kidnapped, that he lured into his car, an eyewitness actually said that they seen the 2 girls get in the car with an unknown white man, and they described them, and they actually got the plate numbers, and this is how the police got onto him. But unfortunately, before they could apprehend him, they was interviewing people around him, and they interviewed his neighbor. And after the interview, the neighbor, which is just such a disgusting human being, decided to tip this madman off, and he fled Louisiana before the police could apprehend him. And soon after he left, they went to search for the bodies, and they started finding these bodies all over in the sewer, near his job, in the field, cornfield. It's just, they started finding the children's bodies. Like I said, he fled, and he took the identity of his neighbor, Sidney Harris. On May 31st, 1978, in Tacoma, Washington, plainclothes cops tried to apprehend him for trying to sell a stolen car, which he then took out a .22 caliber and shot himself in the head. He later died from his injuries at the hospital, and it is believed that he is suspected of many more murders than just those 5. But yeah, they never got a chance to question him because the coward took his life like most cowards do. After they've committed a brutal act, because suicide is nothing to play with, but Coming in at number 4, Nathaniel Code. He is known as the Shreveport serial killer from 1984 to 1987. This man had already served time for aggravated rape, where he stayed until 1984. Isn't that crazy? Soon after his release, he began to kill. He was convicted of killing 8 people, including his own grandfather. Get that? His own grandfather. He would tie up, beat, stab, rape, sometimes shoot his victims. He didn't really stick to one thing. He did many. He killed them in several different ways, unfortunately. His crimes were brutal and filled with rage. He even broke into a home, killing 4 people, including a man. He shot the man, but that just goes to show you how the mind of this madman worked. He literally broke into a home with multiple people and killed them all. He would overkill his victims. That's something that the cops noticed. Like, the way in which he would kill, he would overkill. He would continue to harm the body even after life had left these people. He was sentenced to death in 1989. And number 5, last but not least, we have Derrick Todd Lee. He's known as the Baton Rouge serial killer. He operated between the years of 1992 and 2003. Lee murdered 7 women in Baton Rouge. Prior to his murder charges, Lee had been arrested for stalking women and watching them in their homes. He was overlooked for his crimes because, unfortunately, the cops thought it was a Caucasian male that was committing these crimes. Diane Alexander is the only known survivor of Lee, and it is only because her son walked in during the attack when he was attempting to beat and rape her. And her son walked in and scared him off and actually chased him out the back door, and until he escaped, until they lost each other. But also during the time that Lee was terrorizing Briar, they actually had another serial killer operating this exact same time as him in the exact same area. So you could imagine how overworked the police were. This serial killer went by the name of Sean Gillis, but he's not making this list today. I'll do another list and maybe he'll make it. Lee died on January 21st, 2016 of heart disease in a hospital. And honestly, I just hope he's in hell suffering. Well, that's it. That's bringing a close to our videos. If you like these videos, subscribe. And I hope to see you guys next week. I'll post a video. I'll try to post a video twice a week. Friday would be more creepy paranormal. And on, Tuesdays, it'll be more true crime. So we'll do True Crime Tuesdays and Freaky Fridays. Hope to see you next week. Thank you.